All right, Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And we are the ISUPK. We've been called to teach the Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives the truth. And tonight's Wednesday night law class. And what we're going to be going into is unrighteous judgment. How are we looking on the sound? It's too wild. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, so what we're going to be going into tonight is unrighteous judgment. And how we're in a nation where we allow them to judge us. And we're in a nation where we allow them to rule us. Salakia. And that has been our detriment. That has been the thing for years that has made us stay at the bottom. Hold on, we got some Wi-Fi issues. Salakia, bear with me for 1 second. All right, Salakia, we was having some Wi-Fi technical difficulties. But yeah, tonight we're going to be going into how this nation has kept us down and we continue to vote for it. We continue to buy into it. We continue to lift it up as we are falling down. So my question would be is how long are we going to enjoy the pain of following after another nation or being in the shadow of America? So the first scripture I'm going to pull is Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 5. Salakia, we're going to start at verse 1. So it says, how doth the city sit in solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and the princes among the provinces, how is she become tributary? So listen, what the prophet Jeremiah's accent is, how has the nation of Israel fell so far from where they were? How has the nation of Israel fell from their place at the top? Verse 2, it says, she weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she have none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. they are become her enemies. So when we look at how these other nations look at the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, and we look at how they deal with us from the present day and the past, none of them have shown themselves to be friendly. None of them have shown themselves to actually care about black people or Hispanic people when they falling down. People only care about the Hispanics when they go into the food trucks. People only care about the Mexicans when they need some work done at their house. People only care about the blacks when they need a. So it's like, how long will we be treated like nothing and you to be like, you know what, it's just like, or continue what, this is just our society? How long shall it endure? Verse 3, it says, Judah is into captivity because of affliction. So listen, the so-called Negroes is saying we went into captivity because of affliction, because of the things that we were doing. Salakia, 1 second. It's Wi-Fi. Hey, Salakia, is it skipping up on your end too? Salakia, we having some Wi-Fi issues. We got a brother getting on it. But verse 3, it says, Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. So listen, when you look at the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, they don't have a land of their own. They don't have anything that they could call home. Like, you know how everybody likes to call the so-called African Americans. There's no place in Africa that those so-called people can go to and be treated like natives and be treated like people of the land and have a government put in place to protect them. This is why we need to stop looking towards these other nations for protection. We need to stop looking into these other nations for the answers, because the answers are not in there. The answers are not within these other nations. Read the rest of this verse. It says, she findeth no rest. Look, when you look at the blacks and Hispanics, they are always complaining that, dang, you know what? We only got the weekend. Or dang, you know what? I don't never get a break. Or you know what? I'm always doing this or always doing that. And it's because just like in Egypt, just like in the Egypt before time, in this Egypt, they work us with rigor. And they make sure we have no time to think. They make sure we have no time to be anything other than servants. And this is why we need to stop looking to them for help, because it's in vain. All right, I'm going to finish it out. It say, she findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted. And she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. For the Lord have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. There's not one black or Hispanic or native person that could say they are not in captivity or that they are giving their children something other than captivity. Because when we look at some brothers and sisters, they might move out of the hood and then they might think they made it. They might forget about the rest of the community. But what they don't see is that they don't make up for the whole black community. And what they don't see is that they don't make up for us in general for what we go through. So let me just play this video real quick, if it lets me, because I want to talk about the recent killing of the 19-year-old brother in Wilmington, Delaware. And supposedly the police said that he came to a gathering and he had a weapon, so they chased him, and nobody knows what happened after that. All they know is that he was dead. He was shot. And when they got to the scene, it was neighbors saying that they handcuffed him, shot, and put him in the car, and that they witnessed officers, actually on the video I seen, they said they witnessed officers picking up shell casings and putting them in their pockets. So we're gonna see if we can get this up real quick. So I can. It's like, let me know if you can hear it when it starts.
Investigators as to what led to the shooting. CBS News Philadelphia's Ryan Hughes is outside police headquarters this afternoon with the latest from there. Ryan.
Siafa, good afternoon to you. We spoke with that teenager's parents and loved ones today. They are heartbroken, as you can imagine, and angry. They tell us police have not provided many details about why their son was shot. Shot and killed, and now they and many in this community are demanding answers.
I want transparency on what happened to my son. I'm not okay.
Information. After her son, Kadir Skinner, was shot and killed by a Wilmington police officer. We're told the 19-year-old graduated high school last year and was pursuing a career in carpentry.
We are distraught right now. The way the whole thing went down.
11:15 Wednesday night near 24th and Jessup Streets. According to police, officers on patrol were monitoring a large crowd when they say Skinner came out of a home and pointed a gun towards the group of people. When officers approached him, they say Skinner started to run and was shot less than a block away. Police say they recovered a loaded gun, but Skinner's father is questioning that.
I don't know. I know my son don't carry a gun. I know that for sure.
Skinner's family is now demanding a meeting with Wilmington's police chief, and they want to know if the officer will face disciplinary action. They claim their son was being chased by a dog when he was shot.
All right, so the rest of the video is kind of skip Wi-Fi issues, which I see is that we don't have a community in America where we could be protected by the police. We don't have a community in America where we get justice. So now let me go to the book of Lamentations chapter 4, because all of these things that are happening in today's time was prophesied. prophesied to happen, and it was told to us. He was given a warning, and instead of that, we had to go through it. It's almost like children who you tell them right from wrong. You tell them don't touch the stove because it's hot, and they don't really believe you, so they got to touch it and they got to feel the heat. And that's Israel. That's black people, a stubborn people. So now this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. And Salakia, just for a little bit of context, I'm going to read verse 16. So it says, the anger of the Lord have divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. So look, when you look at today's time, can we really say that there's a lot of younger people who seek the elders' advice? Or can we say that there are a lot of elders who are out really pushing to keep the younger brothers out of certain things? Or could we say that nowadays the OGs is just pushing brothers off and saying, look, they ain't right? So it's like somewhere down the line, we have to kind of step in and be like, you know what? Yes, it's like this Wi-Fi is horrible right now. So verse 17, it says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. So now we're looking at the police in every city in America for help. And we're looking, thinking that just like every other nation, they're going to protect us and treat us like regular people. And they're going to do their jobs, what they get paid for by us. And guess what they do? They treat us like we're always the criminals, even when we're not. So look, even with the sister, I forget her name, Sonia Massey, I believe it is. I might be butchering her name, Salakia, if I am. But she called the police and they killed her. So it's like, think about it. How long will we put our trust into these people for them to go and just turn their backs on us? Like the younger brother, they said it hasn't even come out if he has a weapon or not yet. So now we have a brother who is dead, or Salakia, we have a brother who is unalive, and now we have to petition to the what do they call it, to the council, to try to get the evidence to come out correctly, because we're afraid that they're going to go and tamper with the evidence, or we're afraid that they're going to go in and start hiding body cams, or listen, we got to hear from the CNN that the police are putting shell cases in their pockets. Since on what crime scene does that, like, what crime scene in America do police do that? Right. Like, where do they do that at? Anywhere. Let me get the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Come.
Why? Because listen, we are gonna at some point have to come together as black people, as Hispanics, as natives, and realize the common interests that we have, and realize that, yo, as a people, we're being oppressed. As a people, they are deciding to make sure that we don't thrive. So why do we keep buying into that system?
Right.
Let me know when you got it.
Khan. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Listen, we have watched for America to save us. We put our votes in. We tried to choose the mayors. We tried to choose the city council. We tried to choose the people who had our best interests. And guess what? Every single time, every time we buy into this system, we fall. Because guess what? We can't buy into a system that's not meant, it's not designed to build us up. It's designed to build everyone around us up and to keep us down. Read on.
Verse 18. They hunt our steps.
So what does it mean that they hunt our steps? When a younger black brother goes out into the streets, right? Can his mother or his father honestly have faith in the police department to do their jobs and keep the youth out of trouble.
No.
Rather than just seeing them as criminals and treating them as criminals and treating them like they've already done the deed without knowing. Because look, think about it. Isn't that half of the job? Isn't that what they're getting paid for, to discern certain situations and make the right judgment call? So now how long will we have to keep putting our how we feel about the situation aside because our police officers aren't making correct judgments? The people who we're voting for aren't even stepping in to make the correct changes after these things happen.
Right.
Read on.
That we cannot go in our streets.
Listen, we can't even go in our streets and call them home. We can't even go in our communities and feel safe outside because we're targeted. Because it's people constantly hunting our steps. Because look, let's say you make the same moves that one of these oppressors make. Guess what? You're going, they know right from wrong with you. But they don't know right from wrong when they're doing it. And we're going to read that in the scriptures. Go ahead, you got it.
Salakia, sir, if I could. They got a task. It's called Task Force Tuesdays. Task Force Tuesdays, where we know, brothers know not to be in certain areas on Tuesday.
Right.
Because we are targeted Tuesdays throughout the month.
Right.
By the task force. And also at the end of the month, every black brother, whether it be Hispanic, Haitian, Jamaican, knows not to be around out on the streets at the end of the month, the beginning of the month, because we know that the police is trying to meet their quotum of arrests.
And that's crazy. So look, when it's time for them to try to make the money they need to make, when it's time for them to try to meet the quota, as you said, they going out and rallying us up. They don't even care. And it's because they don't see the wrong in it. They don't see how that's unjust. They only see themselves as doing their job. This is what allows them to continue doing it without feeling a kind of way. It's because they just chalk it up to, all right, well, this is my job. All right, read on.
Our end is near.
Our end is come.
Salakia. Our end
is come.
Is come. Our days are fulfilled.
Our persecutors. This is verse 19.
Salakia. I was reading verse 18. Verse 19. Our prosecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heaven.
Listen, man. They are swift as the eagle. When you look at it, like the eagle has always been used throughout time, even for the Greeks. But and then when we look on our quarters, we see the eagle, and we see the emblem, and we know that the oppressor is swift. We know that the oppressor is cunning, and we know that the oppressor does not care. Go ahead.
Salagia, sir, if I could, since the Greco-Roman times, that has been their signet. Yep, that's what they use to represent their nation, an eagle. From the Greco-Roman times all the way up to modern day America, we have the eagle.
And that's heavy, because it shows that even in today's time, it's nothing different. Even in this Babylon, it's still Babylon. You feel me? And it's crazy because our people like to be like, well, that was back then. They like to read these stories in the Bible and think it's just stories. And they don't understand that this is a prophecy. There's no way that this book can be this accurate and it just be stories. You understand that? So we see how the things that was written for us before, they are here to help us learn so that we don't continue being under. Because us going to the city council to try to get these body cams, it's like I'm not knocking it, but it's like, why not come to our people and figure out how we could create our own police force and figure out how we could create our own government and govern ourselves so that we don't have to even worry about maybe not getting some body footage, or maybe have to worry about a police officer stuffing some shell casings in his pocket because he doesn't want his partner to get in trouble. Go ahead, you had a question?
No, Salakia, you was saying, like, I just wanted to expound on what you were saying earlier about how these prophecies was written for us to learn.
Right.
It's actually a precept for that, if I could. Romans 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime, written that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we look for the Bible and look at how our forefathers dealt with our oppressors, our enemies, we will have the blueprint, the very blueprint we need today to live in a more peaceful society.
Right.
You know, we will have more understanding on how to maneuver through this monopoly. Because I look at America like a big game board. This is monopoly. This is all about the money. So how you have to move in America, you have to move smooth. You have to move smooth through the law.
Right.
And God's law parallels with the laws of the land. So that's what, to me, that's what makes the ISUPK superior over all, because we follow the Lord and we follow his law, and his law is what protects us from everything.
So like, it's like you saying, if you were to lean on the law,
Right.
you would know how we get out of Babylon.
Right.
Because getting out of Babylon, it's not a job. What's wrong with black people as a whole? And they'll start talking about themselves. You understand? Like, that's like getting out of Babylon is about all of us as the blacks, Hispanics, and natives coming together and realizing we have a common enemy in mind. We have common interests. We have more than just pain to be shared. We have, go ahead.
Salakia, because that's what our enemies did to us. They didn't like each other. You got to think, the small hats don't like certain European brothers of theirs.
Right.
And there's certain European brothers of theirs that they don't bang with each other, but they know they have a common enemy. And then to their common enemy to them is us,
right?
The so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. And
they're able to band together on that.
Right,
too.
Sir.
They're able to band together, and they're able to use their resources to lift them up, to press them into the area they need to go. So it's like, why do us as black people, why do we have to rely on America? And it's like, it's not enough blacks, Hispanics, and natives asking themselves these questions. Why is it us that have to rely on a system built to destroy? Give me verse 20 real quick. We're gonna drop it.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits,
Right.
of whom we said, under the shadow we should live among the heathen.
Listen, that spirit that the Lord gave us, it was crushed because we decided that we should live in the shadows of our enemies. That spirit that the Lord gave us was done away with because we thought it was better to follow the customs of the heathens. Give me Zechariah 11:5. Because what a lot of our people don't understand is the people who rule over us, they don't see themselves as guilty. So imagine you're in an abusive relationship and the abuser sees what they're doing as love. Think about it. As they think they're loving you, you're going to be hurting more and more and more. And at some point, you're going to meet your mark and you're going to be destroyed. You got it?
Sir. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Come.
Whose possessors slay them and hold them not guilty. Salaki.
Whose possessors slay them and hold them not guilty? Like, think about it. There's not one people who, one second, there's not one people who capture you and kill you off and then just for no reason. But we seen in history Esau will. We seen in history that Esau has that spirit of hate and he doesn't see what he's doing as evil. So he's not feeling guilty when he goes and oppresses Issacharite. He's not seeing it as shame when he goes and treats the so-called the so-called Negro as a nobody.
Bert.
You understand? You had a question or something?
Salagi, I was going to add on to what you said, but you hit it on now. I ain't know.
Water. Let's finish. Most High Christ.
So,
and they
Salakia. And they sell them. They that sell them say, Salakia, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
Listen, don't they be like one nation under God? They be like, we all one nation under God. How could we all be one nation under God and think that God is just okay with Esau oppressing his people, or just think that God is okay with his people being down here and just being what's the word for it's a word that I'm looking for how they doing us, just not scrutinized but just demolished. You know what I mean? You think the Lord is seeing his people just being demolished and being devoured? Like, you know what?
Slakia.
That's a good system. Kind of, yeah, the word devoured. Like, think about it. They're not seeing themselves as wrong for oppressing us. Read on.
Slakia.
And their own shepherds.
Hold on. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
Listen, our own shepherds don't even help us, man. Like we look in these churches, man, and they right part of the system. They right part of the system. They ain't out there making ways for the black community to thrive. They making ways for the sisters to become whores and for the brothers to become broke and for the brothers to be out there just seeking things that are destructive. because the only thing they care about is tithes.
Con.
So it's like, think about it. What leadership do we have outside of the ISUPK? What leadership do we have outside of the priests and the prophets who are trying to tell you to keep the commandments? Give me Isaiah 30:1, because we have to stop trusting in America. We have to stop trusting in the shadow that this place has built. Like, it's so many brothers and sisters who look at America and be like, dang, man, America is so great. A lot of people don't understand that America has built themselves up off of blood. America is only who they are because we're at the bottom. Isaiah 30.
Count on one con. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
Listen, the Most High said destruction was going to come because we was a rebellious people. We was a people who heard the right way to go and we went the other way. Read on.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
How many times do you see the blacks and Hispanics listening to whatever dogma America pushes, to whatever idealism America pushes out at us? America could say that we all equal and black people will believe it. America could say, man, we're doing good as a nation, and black people would be like, yeah, man, yeah. Nobody would be like, yo, we falling. Because guess what? Black people are scared to go up against the shadow of America.
Right.
Read on.
But not of me. And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Rulership or the leadership of America. We can't put our trust into a president. We can't put our trust into a mayor, because that's black people's favorite thing. Oh, we're not voting for the president. We just voting for the mayors and the people in our city, that can do stuff immediately for us. But look, how selfish. What about all of us as a whole? What about the brothers who is over there that don't got a good mayor?
Right.
So it just don't matter because you got a good mayor in your city, huh? So it's like, come on, how long will we put on the spirit of America and then take off the spirit of the Most High? Because we read in the scriptures that spirit that the Most High gave us was crushed.
Right.
It was crushed because we put on the spirit of America.
Salakia, prime example, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, they don't look at us like we are brothers and sisters. The GAG, the Native Americans, they don't look at us.
You can go to Issachar, who's right here in Bethlehem with us. And Issachar, like I heard something so bizarre, and it was saying that it's Issacharite families telling their children not to intermingle with the so-called or Judah, I should say, because they saying that they're going to be single mothers. So it's like, where does that idealism come from? It comes from the oppressor, because they wrote royal decrees to keep us away from them. They wrote royal decrees to make sure that the blacks and Hispanics don't unite.
Right.
Because guess what? If we unite, it would be like what I'm saying. We would put on the spirit of the Most High, and we would understand that we have a common enemy. Right.
Salakia, sir. You got some people out there that fear separating from their oppressor because of not being able to pay their bills or not being able to get in a better position in their work field. They want to become the manager instead of just a regular worker. Right. And they feel like, okay, I gotta shoe shine. I gotta spit shine. Man, please. I gotta be a pleaser of persons in order for me to get to the position that I am aiming to get into. And
just to get in that position and be ridiculed.
Right. And they will go at their own brothers. They will throw their own brothers and sisters under the bus to gain that position. And then when they get that position, they see that this is the position they really didn't want, because now they're going to use you as the scapegoat.
Yeah.
They're going to
It's like the industry.
Right.
Like how
sir.
They put in they morals aside just to get where they need to go.
Salakia, prime example, the BET Awards. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, I mean, I was indulging a little bit, I mean, just to see what was going on. And they had that boy Drewski up there. And he's a skits fanatigan. Like he can't help himself.
Yeah.
He can't help himself. He don't know who he is as a man. He loved to be somebody else. That's his whole job. His whole objective is when he wake up to be somebody else. He don't know who he is. So that's why it's easy for him to go into these acting roles as a pastor, as a slave, as this, as that, because he see that his master gets a kick out of this. His master will pay him for making mockery out of his people.
Right. And that's heavy, because it's like people don't even see Drewski, man. He's getting fundings, he's getting endorsements, he's getting them deals just for doing what he's doing. Just for doing what he's doing. And I ain't not that he's funny. Drewski's a funny guy.
I like that.
But guess what? Is the little comedy that Drewski is pushing out with the little bit of truth. It's like they say, a broken clock could be right every now and then. But that don't mean that we should just leave people. And it's just like, what good has BET pushed out? Tyler Perry? It's like, think about it. The only thing that gets shown on BET is destruction. And then when we go back into our news. All right. So why are we continuing to buy into this system? Let me get the rest of that verse.
Khan. But not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt.
Right. So look, man, listen. In Babylon, we strolled through Babylon like it's nothing. We strolled through Babylon like we are not oppressed. Like we don't realize that we are being unalived at an alarming rate. Right. Go ahead, read the rest when you got it.
And have not asked my mouth, asked at my mouth.
So we ain't asking. When we stroll through Babylon, you don't see blacks and Hispanics asking for the Lord's help. You see, or if they do, they're asking for it in vain. They want a car or a house or something like that.
Right.
We don't see us asking to get lifted out of our position at the bottom. But what we do see is, read on.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
So we ask to be strengthened with this nation. We ask if the Lord could raise us up within the customs of this nation. So like I said, we ask for a car. We ask for a house. We ask to get a certain job position in America. And we don't understand that Babylon is falling.
Right.
Babylon is falling down. Why do we want to continue to be the thing that's keeping it up?
Right.
Read on.
and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Like and like we was talking about earlier, we rather trust in the shadow that this place has built up. Like people look at America and see it as such this great nation because what makes America great? Nothing. There's nothing great about this place. And people fight for it. They fight us against saying that America is nothing. It's no good. People would say, oh, well, them third world countries, man, we might as well be in a third world country.
Right.
Because they are sitting here poisoning our foods. They're sitting here poisoning our communities. And they're sitting here going and the very system that we're paying to keep up is sitting there crucifying us.
Right.
And they're sitting there making sure that we don't have a home because they're hunting our steps. Read on. Let me get verse 3.
God, sir, verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your name, your shame. Shalakia.
Everybody who puts their trust into these presidents, into these mayors, into the police force, that's gonna be your shame. And we're gonna continue getting brothers like Skinner.
Right.
And we're gonna continue getting sisters like Sonia Massey.
Right.
We're gonna continue to get situations where we lean on this place for help and we get unalived for it, or we get some kind of bad reaction for it.
All right.
You understand? So it's like at some point we gotta wake up. Now it's high time. That's what the scriptures say. It says it's high time to wake up out of our sleep and just look around and realize that we're in Babylon.
Right.
Read on.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Right. And this place has done a magnificent job at confusing the blacks, Hispanics, and natives.
Right.
They have done a magnificent job at making sure you don't know left from right because you walk down your brother block, and because he want to think it's his block, he want to go ahead and start something with you.
Right.
When he don't own anything on that block, not even his house. Let me get verse 7. And we just need to start understanding that when we go and seek help from the police force, do you think that the way they're going to help us is going to be with love? With care and like, and just like to get some kind of justice, because where the police forces of America will see what they're doing as unjust. For as long as they protect their own, they will never see that they are hurting everyone else, because it's like that abusive relationship. If they see what they're doing as love, how can they, correct it?
All right.
Because they think they're right. Let me get verse 7.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain.
Listen, we are looking towards America for help, and America is helping in vain because America has its own interests. You don't think that America doesn't want to keep Issachar working at low prices?
Right.
You don't think America doesn't want to keep the blacks and Hispanics on drugs so that they can fill their prisons up?
Right.
You don't think that America wants to keep the blacks and Hispanics from creating healthy relationships so that they can keep this little child support, and so that they can keep all of the systems they have in place to destroy us?
Right.
You got to think, it's like the brother said earlier, it's a monopoly here. So they make sure that their interests are covered. Read on.
Therefore I have cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still.
This is the strength of America. When they see the blacks and Hispanics mourning, like when they see, I'm curious to see the outcome of this case. You know what I mean? With the brother in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm curious to see the outcome because will we get justice?
Salakia, sir. I wouldn't be surprised if those police officers get off. Because we just watched that Chinese boy get off.
Yeah.
On murdering a black man,
and
a black young man.
Part. And it goes to show, what are they going to do? What did they say they was going to do? Sit still. America's not going to move because they see blacks hurting. America's not about to change their regimes because they see Issachar down. And this is what I'm saying. We have to stop buying into a system who doesn't care for us. We have to stop. Like how many times have sisters been just up and ready to leave a brother because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Right.
So how come sisters and brothers can't realize that America is not doing what it's supposed to be doing? Or you know what? Shoot, they doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're oppressing us. So, you know what I mean? It's right. Like, when will we realize that this system is not for us? Give me verse 8.
Salakia, 1 second.
Right, so listen.
Verse 8. You ready?
Yep.
Come on, sir. Verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
Listen, it's in the book. It's in the prophecies. We have the notes. Because the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning and understanding. So that through patience of these scriptures, we might have hope. You understand? There's a chance that we can have hope and escape our oppression. Give me Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. Because there's a chance that we might escape our oppression, man. And there's actually a chance that we could rule. Like, who doesn't want to rule? That's what black people are fighting over right now. Just to have the nice things, just to be able to have power.
Say that again.
Chapter 2, verse 3. Because listen, there's a prophecy of what is supposed to be happening. There's a prophecy of how we are supposed to be as a people. And it's in the book. Because remember, we have the notes, and we have the documents, and we have the warnings of how to better ourselves and clean up our act. So it's really just on us on when we're going to realize that, we've been messing up. Go ahead.
Salagia, if I could start at verse 2. Because it further expounds on what you just said. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
Listen, this is what's supposed to be happening. All nations is supposed to be flowing to us.
Right.
But instead, we're flowing to them.
Right.
Putting our trust in them. And now we're seeing our people be persecuted.
Right.
We're seeing our people be destroyed because we're doing what the Lord said not to do. The Lord looks on the blacks and Hispanics, and he doesn't see them as people who should be serving these other nations. He looks on us as people who should be ruling these other nations. Read on.
Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob.
Right. So they're not. It's gonna come a time, man, they not gonna be worried about no Allah. They ain't gonna be worried about no Buddha.
Right.
They ain't gonna be worried about no Caesar Borgia.
Right.
They are gonna know that the true living God is the God of Jacob and the God of Israel and
That's
the God
right.
of the blacks and Hispanics and natives. Read on.
And he will teach us of his ways.
Right.
And he will walk.
And we will walk.
Salakia. And we will walk in his paths. And out of Zion shall go forth the law.
Right. Right. Because what advantage do we have as the people of God? What advantage do we have as Jews? Anybody in the chat or anybody in the class? Is there any advantage that we have as a people? Go ahead. You got it, sis? You said what? The law? Khan. The law. That's what we have.
Right.
That's the advantage. Give me Romans chapter 3, verse 1. Shalom to everybody in the chat. We got Sana, we got Kana. Shalom to everybody checking in. We got Kahal. Let me know when you got it. Yeah, chapter 3, verse 1.
Khan, I don't want Khan. This is the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then have the Jews?
So what advantage do we have as a Jew? What advantage? So a Trinidad. Read the next verse.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
So what profit do we have of doing what the Jews are supposed to be doing?
Right.
Of keeping the customs of being a Jew.
Right.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Right. So that's the advantage that we have as Jews, because the Most High committed his word unto us. Give me Psalms 147 and 19. Because look, listen, the Most High gave his doctrine specifically to us.
Right.
To teach. As we read in the verses before, we are not supposed to be seeking this nation for help. We're supposed to be the ones helping this nation, leading this people. But because we so like 147 in verse 19. But because we continue to look at this nation for help, we continue to be at the bottom, because we want to look at the police force as people who are going to govern us correctly, or we want to look at the city council for people who are going to have our backs.
Right.
We continue to fall, and we continue to not have anything.
Right.
You got it.
Khan, I don't want Khan. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob.
Right. And we know Jacob to be the 12 tribes of Israel. So we know that the blessing passed on from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to us.
Right.
Read on.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
So his statutes and his judgments were shown to us.
Right.
That's the advantage that we have as Jews. That's the advantage that we have as Israelites. So we have to start to understand that we are at an advantage. We have to understand that we have the blueprint. We got the map. So why don't we just follow that blueprint and follow that map right up out of Babylon?
Right.
Because Babylon is falling. And I know for me and mine, I don't want them to be a part of it. Let me get Revelations 18 and 4. Because there has to come a point when we see this place for what it is. There has to come a point where we see Babylon as Babylon, because then, only then will we stop doing the things that are done in Babylon. only then will we see the things that are done in Babylon to be wrong.
Right.
Because from what I see, I get brothers and sisters who don't really understand what they're doing. So just like the book of Hosea, chapter 4, we died because we're ignorant. We died because we don't understand what we're really doing.
Right.
Let me know when you got it.
Khan. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 4. I have heard another voice from heaven.
So we go ahead.
Saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So the her in this verse is Babylon.
Right.
So what we're seeing is a warning given to us to stop doing what we're doing in Babylon.
Right.
To stop following the customs of this place and start to look at our actions as wrong.
Right.
Why? Read on.
And that ye receive not her plagues.
Right, because we know that his plagues come into this place. We know that the Lord is sending punishments to this place for the things that was done here. And you have to remember, verse 5, it says, for her sins have reached unto the heaven. Right now, when we look around, you see all manner of evil. You see all manner of wickedness in America. And it's become a normalcy. And that's because the wickedness of this place has gone up to the heavens. And that's because everybody in America is so immoral. They're not worried about morals. There ain't no code nowadays. There's nothing that separates right from wrong nowadays. Nothing. And this is why the blacks and Hispanics and natives coming back to what they was given from the beginning, coming back to their advantage is very important, because what better time for us to set the stage? What better time for us to take rulership? What better time for us to lead than now? You understand? It's like it says in verse 5, it says, and God have remembered her iniquities. So we know that the Most High is not, we got a just God. So he's not going to forget the things that happen here. You understand? And let me get the book of Romans. Or you know what? We're going to go to 1 Kings 8:47. All right, so this is the book of 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 47. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 47. And right now, there's something that we should be doing as Israel. You understand? We should be trying to come back to the Lord and repent, and just really look at, like, and observe ourselves, and really try to find out, okay, as a whole, not just specifically, not personally, as a whole, what could we be doing better as a people? Because at the end of the day, if we ain't following the law, we aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. Khan. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 47. Yet if ye think, Salakia, yet if ye shall bethink themselves in the land, whether they were carried into captivity.
Listen, if we rethink our actions in the land that we was carried captive, which is here, it's Babylon, then what's going to happen? Read on.
Salakia. Captives, and repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely.
Perversely means opposite.
Salakia.
So what it's saying is, if we go repent to the Lord and be sincere about it and be like, yo, we ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing, what you told us to do, Salakia.
Right.
Then what's going to happen? Read on.
We have committed wickedness and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul, and in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee towards their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, Salakia, the city which they have chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name.
You said it. You said it returned in captivity already, right?
Sir, Salakia. I'm gonna go back right to it, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee towards their land.
I will turn in captivity. Is that the next verse?
Salakia. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, the mountain their cause, and forever, and forgive, Salakia, and forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and gave them compensation before them who carried them captive, and Salakia, that they may have compensation on them.
All right, you can drop it. So what we see is that the Lord is gonna turn our captivity, and all we gotta do is trust Him, and all we gotta do is put faith in Him, and all we gotta do is turn back to the law, because we're already this chosen people. We already a nation that's better than everybody else. We're already superior. Give me 1 Peter 2:9.
Salat Kana Khan. This is the book of 1 Peter's chapter 2 and verse 39.
No, verse 9.
Salakia, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people.
We are a special people according to this book. According to this book, we are nothing like anybody on the face of the earth.
Right.
So when we go and do what everybody else on the face of the earth does, or when we go buy into their systems or lift them up,
right,
we come just like them. We become worse than them.
Right.
Read on.
That ye should show forth the praise of him who have calleth you out of the darkness into his marvelous light.
Like, isn't it such a good thing that we was, out of everybody who's in darkness, we was shown the light.
Right.
And we was shown a way out. Give me Amos 3:2. And we gonna drop it after this.
Khan. This is the book of Amos, chapter 2.
3 verse 2. Just the one that says, you of all the families.
Salaki. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You have I known of all the families of the earth.
Out of everybody, he only knew us, the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, the 12 tribes of Israel. We read in that prophecy that all the nations of the world was gonna come to the God of Jacob. Read on.
Therefore, I will punish you for all of your iniquities.
Right. So now we're being punished because, like I said, imagine we were the only ones who knew right and we didn't do it. Go ahead, you have a question?
Slakia, this just brings me to a time and in my household with my mother and my father. My father used to lay down some strict rules for me and my household. Take your shoes off at the front of the house. Like we had a vestibule. I don't know if you know what a vestibule is, but that's like a little walkway before you actually get into the house. Yeah, I mean, so we had a vestibule, and in that vestibule, it was told to me and my siblings to let your friends know to take your shoes off right here in this vestibule. And we had a plastic runway like that you can only walk on if you had your shoes on or not. But my dad didn't care. He told you to take your shoes off in the vestibule and walk across this plastic runway on the carpet, you know what I mean? So you don't mess up his carpet.
Right.
And those was rules that my father laid, just basic rules for our friends. And I'm gonna just tell you this. I got a friend named Petey. He didn't take his shoes off because he ain't have on no socks. He didn't want to take his shoes off, and he knew his feet stunk. That's the whole reason. I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't want to take his shoes off because his feet stink. But he just kept his shoes on. After I done told all my homies, take your shoes off right in the vestibule, and then pick them up, walk across the plasticware, and when we get to the basement, then you can do whatever you want to do. Put your shoes on or whatever. My dad didn't care about that. Man, this nigga walked across Salakia. He walked across the floor with his shoes on, and my dad seen that, and he didn't say nothing. He waited. He waited till everybody left, and he asked me, did I tell everybody the rules and regulations of the crib? And I said, yeah. And I asked him, did I do good with the company? He said, nah, nigga, you let Petey, you let the young boy walk across. He was walking all in the house with his shoes on.
So you got in trouble.
And I got in trouble for that. They couldn't come over my house all summer. Right. That my company for the summer was cut.
And that's a good example for you being told what to do, so you being punished.
Right.
And
because Petey ain't get Slakia. Petey he didn't even know that was a rule and regulation for my crib. Even if he did know, he didn't get punished for it.
Right. So
I got punished for it.
It's like Petey and all them in this instance would be the other nations.
And
they didn't know right from wrong.
Right.
But we knew right from wrong. So we're getting the punishment.
Right.
So we're getting the brunt of whatever is going down. Because it should be us who is doing what the Lord commanded from the get-go. And with that being said, we're gonna pass the class over, or we're gonna end it here. Shalom Israel. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana. Shalom Israel.